Alright, as you can see, I decided to bust out my little Squier Showmaster here. This is one of the most least expensive guitars I have, and it has proven in the time that I've had it to be a really, really good piece. It's super fast. It's got a great thin little neck and a reverse headstock, which I really dig. As well as a Floyd Rose licensed locking tremolo, and it's sort of, if you want to be a metal player or a shredder of any sorts, sort of the way I see it is you probably want one, maybe at least one guitar to have something like this. That way, you can kind of have some good wacky fun, while still remaining reasonably in tune. These things do a pretty good job, and I'm sure on even better trem systems it would be even better, but this thing does a remarkably good job of keeping it in tune when I go ballistic on on the whammy bar. So yeah, so bottom line, it was a great guitar I got cheap from a buddy of mine, and I think it's an '02, I believe. 20th anniversary, 1982. Yeah, so it was yeah, so that would make this an '02 model. It's just a great guitar, and so I guess I'll show you a few things. Some of the stuff is going to be really kind of cliched. Now, a lot of times when you think trem, a trem bar on a locking system, you think of something that has, you always think of dive bombs and these motorcycle drops, sort of the end of eruption. Of course, there are other things that you can do with it, but I'll give you a couple examples of some more standard stuff first. Now, the most basic kind of dive bomb you can do, I like to do it, you can do it on one or two strings with just natural harmonics. I'll give you a two-string one. There we go. You always end up hearing the G string a little bit more on that one, especially on this guitar. Now, before you do any sort of dive bombs like this, one of the things that it ruins the effect if you have this happen to you. The point of a dive bomb is to dive down and stay down there. So what you have to do is when you get to your lowest point, you have to mute it with this hand. I do it, with my left hand here. You'll get a little bit of a bloop when you get down there, but it's that's somewhat unavoidable. In the studio with digitally nowadays, you can take that out pretty easily, and live performance, it's just gonna happen. So you just have to deal with it. Now, so there's the most basic, that and even something that's even more basic in a way is that motorcycle one, because there's no harmonic involved. Gets quiet towards the bottom, and then it comes back to not to full volume, but pretty close when you come back. You don't think it's going to come back. Burp. Sorry. Seems like it's gone. But there it comes. So that's that. Those are a couple of really basic ones. Now, a cool one, one that Joe Satriani does a lot, is this one with a pinch harmonic down here. And what I do is I typically do it on the G string. And now what you're doing is you're switching roles here. Your bar is controlled with your left hand, and you hit a pinch harmonic here with your right hand. And you're muting with your right hand, whereas before you were muting with the left. So that's remarkably easy. That, you know, Joe makes it look tough. He could also be doing some higher harmonic here too. I'm not sure exactly. Like, he could be doing one of these things, another harmonic technique, where you're picking with these two fingers here, and you do that. And he could be using a whammy pedal as well. So there's a whole bunch of different sort of explanations possibly for how he's getting these really cool sounds. And but he, you know, at the end of the day, he have a really high really cool sound. You can come back up with it. There's one of those. Kind of Dimebag did that a lot, and you know. So, but he did an interesting thing. I feel like I saw him do, where you would hit the harmonica or whatever, and come up the other way, and do it like that, and push this way. So that's kind of another another little bit of an option. So there's some dive stuff with pinches and stuff. Now if you're going to pinch up here with that, I kind of like to do it on the 3rd string, 3rd fret, or 2nd fret maybe. Pretty similar sound. You know, there's not too much of a difference between. And now you notice the guitar's falling a tad bit out of tune, but it's still pretty good. So this is a really good guitar for $200. You know, you don't have to get a gem. You know, you don't need something. Those are very nice, and I think they have the Edge. The Ibanez's have their Edge systems. So you know, everybody's got their take on this one particular patent. But you know, this tends to be a pretty good example. Now, some other stuff that you can do with this system, a really cool effect that you can get with this is something that I first heard Petrucci do, and it's called a tiger claw. You get kind of this buzzing sound, this sort of sound. Now what that's caused by is the springs in the back. When you kind of bat at this, as opposed to having a smooth motion, the springs tend to sort of rapidly vibrate or bounce, as opposed to you know, just kind of expand and contract. So they're doing it at a quicker rate like that. So that's why you're, you know, that's why you're getting that really cool sound. And that's all you do. What I do with this, you don't want to go too hard, because you might kind of screw up the screws in your system. But you just sort of set this back here, you know, maybe while you're doing something with your left hand or whatever. Hit a note, and then just come up and, you know, just brush your finger by the top of it here. And you can tap on notes and do it like that too. Slotting doesn't work quite as well for that particular one. But that's how you do a tiger claw. You just get that in a nice stationary position where it's not going to move. Some trem systems have like where you can actually screw. You just screw that on nice and tight and it won't move as much. So, and then, you know, whenever you're done, back to normal. So, you know, back sort of up to speed. Now, let's see. What these were originally invented for were on a guitar, unless you were detuning, there was no way to have a vibrato that went down. The only thing you could do is vibrato up. You didn't have like I think earlier ones like the Bigsby's. I believe those types of systems you could only go down with. So nowadays with these and with the ones on my Paul Reed Smith, you can get kind of a you can do both things. You can go up and down with them. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with a trem system, and I'm gonna have to make another video about it, because, you know, this one's going a little bit over. But so that'll do it for now.